Welcome on back, everyone, to the Proving Grounds, powered by Verizon. We got a little fun game for you, a little bit of nostalgia for you. I know, Rafa, this one might hit you a little bit close to home, but Beatdown Boulevard. I'm excited to bring you in on this one because we're going to play a little game called Who's That Proving Grounds Player? Woo!
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I wish we had something like that cool little intro music, but this is where I'm going to start naming off some trivia of a couple players. I'm going to do two players specifically in Proving Grounds. And I'll let you guess, talk about the trivia that I'm saying. And by the end, if you do have a thinking of who you want to guess at all during the questions, you can go ahead and guess. And we'll see if that's going to be the player. So let's go ahead and start with our first player here. Start with our first trivia points as I do get that up on my screen. So, came from a university that promoted 3 players to academy in the last 2 seasons. Just gonna let that one sit with you there.
Okay, so
let that one sit.
This player came from a university that promoted 3 academy players within
The last 2 seasons.
the last two seasons.
Which is an impressive feat in its own right for the university. Oh my God. Think of the likes that can happen in those kinds of situations. Another piece of trivia started in 2017. And I know these are very general, but it's because we've had a track record of people guessing these instantly. So we're gonna keep it fair. It was Mark Z and Cubby. I'm gonna throw them right under the bus.
Too? Oh man, I thought Josh was the one that guessed it super early because. Okay.
So started in 2017. He has played Academy for 1 split. In total of his career, he has played 1 split of Academy. And keep on going. No reactions there. All right. He was in the scouting grounds in 2021. He is also lauded for his engaged game reviews during VOD reviews with teams.
Game reviews with teams.
Player.
Whoa.
I think that's getting.
He's Canadian.
We can't ask for hints, right?
Nope.
Damn.
these are your hints. These are the trivia.
Okay, so Beatdown. Stop with the trivia.
Okay.
Hang on.
All right,
Let me
talk to me.
brainstorm
What's
with
up?
Beatdown.
Okay.
So the university that has promoted 3 players within the past 2 seasons. Seasons means
Years,
2020,
right?
2021,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Year, right?
Yes.
Okay. So universities that we're looking at probably then Maryville,
Yep.
right? Because Maryville had Niles and Iconic for the class of 2020.
Yep.
And then Spirax for the class of 2021.
Oh, wait. I have a quick question. So, is it teams that qualified for Proving Grounds in 2022 spring, or teams that are still remaining in Proving Grounds as of right now?
No, it's a player.
Oh, player. Same.
It's a player.
Same player.
It's
So-
a single player. Yes.
That is in Proving Grounds currently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My thing though is that I feel like Mazel would pick a player that is related to the series that we did today.
Why would I do that? Why, Rafa? Why?
Yeah,
why would I
yeah.
ever do that?
Oh, then I'm gonna say Spirax.
You were not right on that one. I'm gonna give you the last piece of trivia, and this one I don't know if it's gonna help you get it at all.
Okay.
And I'll give you the last 2. I'll give you a major hint. All right. The university that he came from is Western University. His first job was in customer service, which is like a lot of people. I feel like.
Western. Like Western Ontario.
Yeah.
Is that Winston?
Oh, I heard the name, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it so we can move on with this.
Okay.
It is Winston,
Okay.
who is our Proving Grounds player. Wow, what a wonderful photo. Thank you to production for finding that one.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Nice
We made
jacket,
it.
bro.
We did it. We got the first
Yeah, I
player.
like
It's
it.
Winston. The guy deserves a shout out, man. The guy has been a rock on the teams that he's played for. And yes, he's only had 1 academy split, but he has
TSM
shown
Academy.
up in amateur when it matters.
Yeah, I forgot that. I think it was season 9, like 2019. It was in summer, but yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and move on. I heard we got to hurry this up a little bit. So we're going to move on to the second player here.
Speed run.
Who's that Proving Grounds player? Number 2. All right, we're going to start off with the easy ones. Started in 2019 with UC Berkeley.
Oh!
UC Berkeley. No, stop it. Rafa, mute yourself. Mute yourself. Seemed to speed run his way through AM straight into Academy. You know what, Rafa? I'll let you do it, and I'll keep going off the trivia here. I know you know who it is.
You know what? Let's learn more about this player.
I mean, we're gonna go through the trivia either way.
Yeah.
But anyways, he replaced an up-and-coming jungler, young jungler, on his team that he is on now. He was also a part. This one's a special shout out to you. Part of Challenges Uprising Season 3. Which was actually incredible. Feels like forever ago. Rafa, you have casted his career most Baron steal, or at least most of his career Baron steals, and he's also a tennis player. Don't see that much in esports.
Yep. And he played in a trading guard world championship.
I love that you're just like naming trivia. We haven't even named who the player is. Rafa, go ahead and throw up your guess. Who you got? Who you think it is?
Lawrence XU Zoo, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey!
Gentleman for Dignitas Academy.
It is indeed XU. The guy is a smurf. The guy is a wonderful dude instead as well. I know you spent a lot of time around the Dignitas squad, but thought we'd give a shout out. I was talking with our producer Kelsey behind the scenes, like trying to figure out the ones that are most not gonna get Rafa to guess this. Seems like we failed, Kelsey. But
one got through the cracks.
As soon as you mentioned or player from UC Berkeley, I'm like, bro, there's only one player.
I left out Western University for Winston because I knew that was gonna be a giveaway. So I just want to shout that one out. But we are ready for Champion Select for our second game of the second series. So Rafa, here, have it, my friend. Take it.
He's just gonna give it to you?
I took it.
You know, no one ever gives me Champ Select.
It's mine.
I just noticed.
Oh, you want it? Hey, hang on.
Wait,
on.
actually?
Let me. Yeah. Let me. Hang on. Let me get a cloth real quick. Let me polish it off for you.
Oh my God, you're so kind.
Yeah. Here you go, King.
Thank you, King.
Well,
All right, guys. I have Champ Select, and I'm the color caster. I don't need Rafa anymore. He can just leave now.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. Don't leave, please.
All right. Game 2 beatdown.
That's right.
Immortals AOE, backs against the wall. This is upper bracket lifeline on, or life on the line. Dignitas Academy for them. One more game, and they advance right on through.
Right, and this time around, though, in this second game where it was the Zeri coming through for Meech, this time around it is going to be the Jinx. I mean, he's still a player that we definitely highlight a lot when we talk about this roster just because of how unreal he is in lane, in team fights, and things like that. And it's going to be about whether or not IMA can set him up for success.
Do you know the, just to break away, because now I feel like in trivia mode.
Okay.
Do you know why XU hovers Katarina every game?
Is he the player where it's because of significant other, or am I thinking of someone else? Ah, nice, yes.
Significant other. Yeah.
Because their name starts with a K, right? Or is it literally just Cat?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, okay, there you go. I know things, apparently.
There you go. And look at this, bro. We're just exchanging compositions.
Wait, yeah, that's literally.
It's not necessarily the salty run back, but it's more like, all right, that comp you had, that was pretty darn good. We're gonna take it.
Yeah.
And Dignitas Academy are gonna say, well, we're gonna beat you with the comp that you just played. So that is the statement that we see. However, slight change could be coming through. It's going to be the Thresh instead of the Leona.
So we do know this to be a really, as long as this hype pyramid has been going on, we know it's been the things like the Aphelios Thresh, the Jinx Thresh, and things like that. With Aphelios off the board, it is going to be the Zeri in the hands of Spawn. And okay, I was wondering whether it was going to be Enchanter or Engage Support, and it's actually going to be the Yuumi. And it's more important than the pairing with Spawn. It's the Yuumi Hecarim that is the big thing here, where it's whether it's the Yuumi, whether it's the Karma, you're playing for the jungler in this way where you're going to give them the support, give them the speed and shields so that they can just be the worst thing your enemy AD carry's ever seen.
You know, if you thought Hecarim was already pretty fast in this meta, just wait until you get a cat on a book. You know, just giving you an extra additional movement speed, more ability power, and attack damage. Right, I guess adaptive force is the correct term here. And then you're just ruining them with the last chapter. And then Hecarim is just having a field day. And you are already, between Hecarim and Zeri, you have two champions that will make great use of the Yuumi buffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And now for the second phase of bans, we're just seeing the solo laners come through. A lot of priority against Shochi. I mean, you already have some pretty solid early game tool with that Winston. They don't want to allow him any of those scaling picks because of how much of a problem things like Victor Jinx would be, or Vigar because their comp wants to be moving into yours. So now it's setting up Darklings for this Ahri pick, and it makes me wonder what we're going to see out of Shochi here. I mean, there's still things like the LeBlanc, the Rise available, and it's looking like he's probably just thinking about more of the Rise. And you know what, Mark? As we're waiting to see what Eclipse is going to play on the top side, I like this comp a lot more for Immortals AOE because, one, you have Winston, who's going to be able to do so much for his laners in the early game. You have Shochi, who's going to be able to get push and get that mid priority so that he can also roam and make plays. And you have this dive setup here that's going to make so much space for Meech on the Jinx, because we keep talking about how important that is.
Ooh.
Oh, they locked it in.
There's a lot to unpack here, Beatdown.
There is.
And so you already noted that in Immortals AOE, they have stronger ways to execute dives and locking down a particular character in Spawn Zeri, right? You know, Zeri can be pretty darn slippery with the movement speed that she gets in the later parts of the game and just ramping up thanks to the burst fire and then activating Lightning Crash. Hextech Ultimatum says, stop that. Stop moving. You're getting locked down, and then you can follow up with the damage from Shochi and additional root as well with the empowered Rune Prison, plus then Meech being able to pick up the damage from either far away with the Super Mega Death Rocket or just, you know, getting in range. I agree with you. You're really cool setup for Immortals AOE and straightforward composition once again. It's not necessarily, you know, champions that, you know, feed Meech again, but it's more, these are ways that allow Meech to get access to those backline carries.
Right, that's what you're looking for here, especially because now you have the more early game pressure, and you have pressure in a lot of these lanes, truthfully, especially on that top side, because it's worth noting it was Gwen was a bad matchup for Camille for a long time, and it's probably still not great, but the big change that came on this patch was the nerf to the extra range she gets when she casts her E to skip and slash. So that has weakened her laning phase a little bit, but it's worth noting, much like Jinx and Aphelios and Zeri, even though the early game has been weakened for the Mark, the late game for champions like that are still absurd.
When you think about now, about how many champions Yuumi gets to attach themselves to this game as for JJ, you can literally equip yourself to all 4 of these members for Dignitas Academy, and you're not going to go wrong. I mean, you get onto Dark Wings, and if he's ahead, he is zipping on through with Spirit Rush. You get attached to Gwen. Oh my goodness, like Gwen in the late game is already terrifying because the skip and slash allows you to close the distance so fast, and then the damage output and the snip and just auto attacks is filthy. It is absolutely disgusting. And for Dignitas, there's a couple things I want to fill you in on. Eclipse, this Gwen pick is one of his most picked champions out of the entire Academy split. In fact, it was his go-to blind pick for the first few weeks when Gwen was, you know, really strong in Academy play. And so, you know, getting to see a return to form on this. And this is where Eclipse has actually picked up a lot of solo kills on. He's been able to win multiple matchups with the Gwen. As soon as he hits level 6, he goes for the all-in. But this, for JJ on the Yuumi, this is his first time playing this champion in this 2022 year.
And the invade is coming through. It is going to be the 50-50 for this buff here. You are going to be able to walk away from this. This is going to be a big deal for Winston, but it's going to come down to the smite. Winston gets level 2, which means he's going to be able to also take away the Grump. There isn't too much that should be done about it, but he's opting to actually harass XU instead. I like this because, one, taking the buff, you already messed with XU's early game, but because of the fact that already Shochi is pressuring mid, and the fact that you know Spawn and JJ at level 1 can't do anything, you're going to take the entire top side here, and if Winston passed intelligently, he can just, one, he could gank mid in transition if he wants to and go for his top camps.
Yeah, it's gonna force Darkwing's away. Darkwing's not necessarily in any danger, but the way that Winston is pathing aggressively to cut off any other resources for XU, he would have to rely on Eclipse to win out this lane and get a huge push against Anime Girl so that he can roam and use that agency to help XU secure more of these camps. But because Winston has already went straight for the buff, he is now in the jungle quadrant. He'll be hitting level 3 soon after these next 2 camps. And XU can no longer compete for, you know, some of the additional resources on the top side of the map. He would have to beeline back towards Winston's red side, but I imagine at the pace and the position that he is in right now, he will not have a chance to do it before Winston gets back over there.
Right, it's too much of a risk for this Hecarim to do that. And if you do that, if you try for it, you take that risk and you get solo killed by Winston or you get killed by anybody, that sets you behind even further. So now this XU is just going to have to farm what he can, wait for the respawns, and hope that after the reset, he's going to be able to, 1, potentially find a play, and 2, be able to actually farm his jungle when he gets back onto the map.
Oh man, Winston Sweeper doesn't actually see the ward that spots him out and gives Darkwings the information necessary. You see Winston trying to, you know, ping questions like, I think he saw me. I can't see though for sure. Meanwhile, XU now could make a play onto Anime Girl. He knows that he does not have flash. It's only ignite and teleport. Eclipse trying to crash this wave ASAP, but Eclipse steps
the
a little too
solo!
far close to the tower, and that's the solo kill for Anime Girl. I'm not sure what happened or why it allowed him to take turret aggro. Maybe it was the ignite, but oh, that's huge for Anime Girl.
Yeah, really nice of him to be able to notice that. Even before, I think he realized XU was in the area. He just found an opening, and he took it. And means Eclipse is going to have to go for the reset here. Yeah, as soon as the tower shot goes through, he knows Eclipse already spent the ignite. And he says, oh, don't mind if I do. I'm going to take first blood. And that's great for a player who I was talking about too, where he improved so much during the first PGC qualifiers over at Unified, and it's really starting to show.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that much of a chance to talk about... Hold up. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought XU was going to just walk up and smite it on over, but Trevor, you know, guarding it, making sure that Winston is able to maintain and secure that resource away. We haven't gotten a chance to really talk that much about Anime Girl, but, you know, after having conversations with people like you and Smacks, we've really gotten a chance to see that Anime Girl, you know, didn't really have much amateur experience before this year. This is really their debut year in, you know, competing, but Anime Girl has really impressed a lot of the teams and the players over in the amateur circuit, and I think the general consensus is that Anime Girl is one of now the top lane prospects for the amateur class of 2022.
Yeah, you'd be right in saying that. And now, getting that lead on this Camille, being that big backline threat, kind of dealing with the fact that Spawn as Zeri wants to be kiting it out with that ultimate, gaining all that move speed, is such an ever-present boon for IMA in this early game. And also, making use of this early game strength they have means they're going to be able to go ahead and make a play for this dragon. The thing is,
oh god, XU wants to make this play happen though, because JJ and Spawn pop over the blast cone and they run down the rest of Immortals AOE. Trevor and Winston instantly bite the dust, and Dignitas, despite some great early gameplay from the Immortals AOE squad and setting behind Dignitas members, Dignitas fight back.
And this one is brutal. The main thing to note here is the move down to the bottom side from this Ari here. You can see that Darkwings is level 6 to Shochi's level 5. So once that Spirit Rush is available, Dignitas Academy think to themselves, okay, we have this fight. We can lock this one down. And that call, that decisiveness gets them an early gold lead. It gets them Dragon number 1.
Dignitas, once again, not necessarily right on the 5-minute mark when Dragon spawned, but they are similarly on track to picking up the all 4 dragons like Dignitas did in game 1. And it's something that they've been doing for the most part of the academy split. They've been very a dragon-centric team since playing towards spawn has been a majority of their win conditions for the split. And Immortals AOE still have some early game agency while we're in the first few minutes of the game, so I expect that IMT AOE still going to make sure that they can find ways to push themselves into control.
That's right. Winston still has quite the solid farm lead. Gold and EXP all in his favor right now, and he means he's going to get that subjugate a good bit before XU can. And you can see that the difference because of the kill is largely actually in XP between Winston and XU. That does mean that if, again, still, you get level 6, you get the subjugate, you are going to be able to make a play, go for a dive somewhere. But they don't even want to wait for that. They just want to go right now.
Dive is happening. It's happening on the top side of the map. And Trevor and Winston trying to outnumber the two on XU and Eclipse with Anime Girl as well. Level 7 to level 6 and 5. Hacksack Ultimatum is available. Subjugate, not quite. Winston is still level 5.
Realm Warp.
And a Realm Warp is coming in from Shochi. This is about to be a 4-on-2 Eclipse. Trying to survive as long as he can. The needlework doing quite a bit of work, and XU cannot survive long enough, but now here comes Darkwings. Has Spirit Rush available, has multiple low health bar members to annihilate, but can he get in range? And meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, there's an isolated 2v2 that is occurring. We'll have to get back to that one, as it looks like Immortals AOE are gonna chill out and not look for any more casualties.
That's a successful play there. Even though Shochi does have to flash, it's traded for Darkwings, and he manages to make use of that Realm Warp. Get there before Darkwings can to have an impact on the play. And we're going to see a replay of what happened in the bot side because, of course, Trevor shows up away from this bottom lane. JJ and Spawn are like, oh, what's up, Meech? How you doing? But to Meech's credit, it is the 1-for-1, and that one kill actually went over to JJ. So that's value. There is a little more value in that for Meech overall.
What's good, homie? Well, what's good is that Meech actually gets Meech actually gets a return kill before Spawn is able to trade on back. So the gold going over to JJ actually quite huge for IMT AOE, considering he was in the 1v2. Whoa, Winston. It's okay, it's okay. It's just a little too close for comfort on that one, but they secure the Rift Herald.
No, not even close, baby. That's what he's saying right now. He's like, I had it all along.
I don't know. It looks kind of close to me. See, that's kind of clinching.
But see, those are the moments where you type in all chat, thanks for leash. for maximum mental damage coming through here as Winston will secure that Rift Herald, which is a big deal for IMAOE, just because of the fact that they've been able to catch up on that small gold deficit they have had, and it means they can continue to snowball here, where they can actually make the play top lane with the Rift Herald, get more gold onto Meech. I say can, but really that's what they should be doing, because we keep highlighting it. We've seen this team and how they operate, and it is about playing for Meech. And XU knows this as well. That's why you see him hovering the top side in case his bot lane are in trouble.
Darkwing's currently trying to push out this wave, so he can also join the party that is impending towards the top side of the map. Wherever Meech and Spawn are going to be, that is where all the action is going to occur as well, with this Rift Herald in mind. It's already highlighted. You want to funnel as much gold into this Jinx. Last time around, they kind of left Meech on an island, and even though that they did a little bit before this time around, I imagine that Immortals AOE, they want to snowball this Jinx. They want to make sure that Meech is the one that is pumping out the damage as the primary damage dealer. The rest of Dignitas, still haven't really found the momentum to get ahead of Immortals AOE, so there's still plenty of time for Immortals to be the ones that take control of the game.
And again, XU just being ahead of the game, reading the play, is going to be here to deal with Anime Girl.
Oh, man. Snuck right on through Fog of War before Anime Girl could realize that sneaky jungler was making his appearance towards the bottom side of the map. Eclipse trying to fight on back and live against Winston. Even the flash! Eclipse still manages to survive. Dignitas Academy will turn this play from Immortals AOE on its head. The Rift Herald did make the crash, but the turret doesn't go down. First brick isn't secured, and it's Dignitas that pull on ahead.
And man, what a beautiful play coming from Dignitas Academy. It's again from the read that XU made on the play and showed up without anybody even realizing. And because you make that first move on an Anime Girl, you not only secure all those kills with no trade-off, you secure the second dragon in the game. And you're going to see the replay come through here. From IMA's perspective, they drop the Herald and they think, oh, hey, we're good. This is great. And then XU shows up like, yo, wait a second. Oh, yo, wait a second. Meech with the Kobe from downtown.
Meech said, hold up. I'm going to let you finish, Beatdown. But I'm about to be the greatest marksman of all time on the Rift tonight, baby.
Well, that's definitely a convincing argument right there. And that any gold into Meech's pocket is very welcome. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this replay again. Again, from the perspective of Winston, you can just imagine like whoa, wait a second. What's going on over there, anime girl? And by then it's already too late because the onslaught of shadows keeps Eclipse long enough and keeps Shochi outside of the range of the Hallowed Mist. And at that point, with Darkwing showing up, it is not a matter of if Shochi falls, but when.
And when was very soon. Very fast. A narration brought to you by R&B Party House.
Oh my god, we have to do that again.
Shout out to any old League Day fans that listen to some of the most fun content I've ever had the pleasure of doing in my career. And it is
Likewise.
Glorious time. Hell yeah. And Dignitas Academy now find themselves still relatively tied in gold with Immortals Academy. An anime girl looking potentially for a collapse here. The Realm Warp was also coming through, but then Immortals AOE say, no, we don't want the play anymore. Because you could see that I think both Anime Girl and Shochi were thinking, yeah, let's Hextech Ultimatum, you Realm Warp in, let's lock them down. And then they're like, I don't like this play anymore.
Oh, they like this play a lot, Mark.
Oh, yeah. Big fans if you are Immortals AOE Eclipse trying to do as much work as he can. Okay. And the fact through the Subjugate almost made a 1v1 trade could have been super scary. Well, thankfully for Immortals AOE, they cleanly take him down.
It is a nice pick, but I think the thing that's so interesting and worth focusing on right now for the side of Dignitas Academy is the fact that XU was set so far behind in this early game. It feels like a different game at this point, because as we reach 14 minutes, you can see he's now only down 10 farm when it was something like 20, and he was almost down 2 levels worth of XP in the time. You can see he's surpassed Winston in gold as well. So there's so much props to Dignitas Academy for being able to not only catch up in this early game, hold on.
Oh, nice pick, though, from Trevor. Locks down
He's
XU,
getting low.
but JJ trying to do the
Force.
best that he can to keep him alive. It's still not going to be enough. That's another shutdown going over to Meech. And once again, we talked about it before, Immortals AOE, this is all about the Meech show. You got to feed the puppy, right, and let him grow and be the big dog on campus. And right now, Meech has the damage potential available. Darkwing still currently on the run away from Shochi. Not able, and Shochi almost corralling Darkwings right into that Super Mega Death Rocket. Thankfully for a flash, Darkwing stays alive.
Nicely played by IMA. You know what? That is so valuable for them because Meech not only is continuing to get kills, we're continuing to feed the Meech memes, but also Eclipse, he's in trouble because even though he solo kills Anime Girl, well,
hold up. Now, Winston can't quite join Shochi yet, and so he's got to keep his distance. Got to watch out for the snips. Eclipse is still pretty strong, but now he is on the run. And now it should be a matter of time. Throws out one needlework, looking for more. But unfortunately, Eclipse is now completely routed off. At this point, just try to collect as much CS as you can. And Shochi, with a Rune Prison, takes him down.
And although Eclipse does manage to waste a little bit of time, waste their time 2022, is going to allow XU to be able to secure the second Rift Herald, which kind of goes back to my previous point about how despite the early game not going well, they don't want to let me talk about it.
And look at that. We talked about this in draft before. Spawn, very slippery on this area, but you just lock him down with the Hextech Ultimatum, but it's still not enough damage. And XU was able to still pick up the Rift Herald without his bot laners going down in the play. And Dignitas Academy, thankful to be alive.
Worth noting, Spawn blew both summoners, and JJ was forced to use that exhaust. So when that Hextech Ultimatum comes back up shortly after Dragon spawns, Spawn will be under threat. If another play like that happens again, he should have no escape. So that's what IMA should be looking for. You get a lot of summoners out. You're at a spot where it is the sole point if Dignitas Academy get it. So you want to be fighting for this dragon. That's why you see Trevor looking for some of these very Chad Hex Flash plays.
You got to go forward and definitely like the spirit. Remember, this is do or die in terms of upper bracket life, right? Otherwise, you move down to the lower bracket, and then your second chances are gone. It is just one series that will knock you out of the Proving Grounds tournament. But Immortals AOE still have time to play for the upper bracket if they can find their way back into this game. But the engage is from Dignitas Academy and forcing Immortals AOE back. A charm into more damage with the burst fire. Takes out Winston. The last chapter will force the rest of IMT AOE back as now Dignitas turn their eyes towards the dragon.
Winston, you see them have to back it up. They're trying to see what they can find. It's not going to be about the Dragon Steel. It's going to be about what they can get after Mark. You still have plenty of damage available.
Gotta be careful. Look at the rockets already from Meech. You know, a decent AoE damage, but it's not enough to deter Dignitas from taking what belongs to them. And that is Soul Point once again.
Insane that despite the early minutes of pressure XU faced, that both of those early game Dragons went over to Dignitas Academy, and now it's going to be the third one. Really good objective control coming through from this Academy squad. Means that they are one Dragon away now from another Cloud Soul here, and that is a good win con for them to be playing towards here. It's going to do wonders for their team fight, Mark, and it's going to almost spell doom for Immortals AOE if they're not going to be able to do anything about it here, because this next couple of minutes are going to be so important to make sure you can reasonably fight for the next Dragon.
Shoshi looking for a depth play onto here, but the Charm and the Orb of Deception answer back from Darkwings is enough. Now Shoshi might be the one on the run. Oh! Shoshi just barely makes it out alive. And Anime Girl is teleported because he thought his mid laner was in trouble. And he's like, okay, cool, you got out. All right, well, I'm gone too.
That's right. And there's nothing to really... You do force Anime Girl's TP out, is the only thing you're really lost for. But I like this. You're trying to catch someone in transition.
Do they want this fight as IMT AOE, though? XU and Eclipse are on hot pursuit. JJ, the last chapter, still available, and it routes out Winston. And maybe a slight overextension on IMT AOE, not respecting that Dignitas still had the means to cut them off.
You were really hoping for that catch out onto Spawn. It was what we saw before, trying to punish the fact that he has no summoner spells available, but it didn't work out. Dignitas were ready for the play, and that pressure and the fact that most members of IMA need to recall means that's going to be the mid tier 1 turret taken down, and the Rift Herald that's expiring soon is going to be able to be used on the bottom turret. So in one fell swoop, you pick up a kill, 2 turrets, and full control over this bottom side of the map.
And you definitely want bottom side control when you are getting yourselves prepped for Soul Point in the next 3 minutes. And some might say that, well, you know, Dragon is still 3 minutes away. But if you are maintaining complete control of the bottom quadrant of the map, Immortals AOE can never step in and regain control until, you know, a solid minute or two after when Dignitas look for a reset, right? And so this is now an opportunity. And Dignitas, despite being only 1,000 gold ahead of IMTA, they are very much on the cusp of having complete control of the remainder of the game.
It's worth noting, this is the game state we found ourselves in, very similarly in game 1 between these two teams. The fact is, Immortals AOE have been doing a really good job at keeping even in the first 15-20 minutes, and then in game 1, it was just this one fight that turns it around and completely in favor of Dignitas Academy. And we're in that similar situation now where one fight could be that deciding factor, because now the Baron is in play. But it's worth noting right now, Meech is quite strong. He's reached the second item mark while Spawn hasn't.
Well, Trevor, unfortunately, is not strong like Meech, where he can fight against the onslaught of Shat. It's not even the ultimate from XU. Dignitas just route him on off. Thanks to the movement speed that JJ is able to give XU, they catch on Trevor out. The box being used does not deter them. And now they are down a support for the next 15 seconds.
It's not enough time for you to start the Baron and take it, but it is enough time to ensure that you have vision, and vision that no one's going to be able to really clear or place for their own on the side of IMA until Trevor gets back on the map. And now, in a minute's time, means that IMA are going to be in that position teams really hate to be in, where it's okay, well, it's either let him get Soul or let him get Baron, and now they find themselves in a pinch.
And you know what? Dignitas Academy had to learn the hard way of being on the receiving end of being in this same exact situation, where it's like, either we let them take the Soul or we let them take the Baron. And a lot of the times you'll bait teams into starting up the Dragon first, and then you sneak on over to the Baron, and then the team panics and is like, oh god, well, we got to continue this Dragon so that they don't get it afterwards, but we can't let them have the Baron either.
Uh-oh.
We'll have to see if IMT AOE make the same, fall into the same trap that Dignitas have to the likes of Team Liquid and Cloud9, and they have learned for the better. And so far, IMT AOE still maintaining control of the entrance point. Dark Wings, or Eclipse, I should say, gets hooked up here, but not enough to force him to go down. Winston immediately flashing the last chapter, respecting the potential route that could have come out, and now there's no flash for the jungler.
Yeah, Anime Girl, you can see this pinch that they have overall.
Dark Wings forward. Anime Girl forced to use Hextech Ultimatum just to buy time for the rest of the team. Meech and Trevor can't get en route, though, because they were cut
That's
off
good
on the
damage.
pit. XU is traded. Meech has the resets ready, but he has to respect the range that Dignitas can re-engage from. Has to keep his distance, play around the rockets right now. There are no junglers for either team, so there's no smite to secure it. It would be quite the 50-50 that both teams are opting into.
Wow, and I like it. Dignitas, they're going to go for it. They know there's low HP bars on the side of IMA. The thing is, it's a lot of damage available if they want to go for it. The problem is IMA, they don't. They concede. They don't want to risk losing more members of their team, because if they do try and they do wipe, it is Baron. But you still concede the Cloud Soul, which means these team fights are going to be that much harder to play through. And you can see it. The pinch was going to come through from IMA, but it's the decisiveness of teams like Dignitas Academy. They say, you can't pinch us. We're going to full sprint it towards you and make this a temporary 5 versus 2. Because of that, and despite good play from Anime Girl, we did see the 1-for-1 come through, but it was enough in favor that IMA could not contest Soul.
Yeah, I'm going to quote Joshua Joshi Howard, who also quotes Sun Tzu in The Art of War very often. Something, 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 you collapse onto the weakest flank in a pinch. Damn.
That's word for word. How do you remember that?
Dude, you listen and you cast with Joshi a lot of times, and
Yeah.
you get it down.
Damn, all right. I got to start casting with Joshi.
Dude, do it. They'll change your life, man.
I believe it. And Anime Girl almost got his life changed. And by changed, I mean ended. But it isn't worth, I mean, it's true.
They changed him from one state of matter to dead,
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. They changed his HP from whatever it's at now to 0.
Quick math right there.
That's some quick
That's
math.
it.
And they say you can't do math on cast. Maybe they didn't account for me, Mark.
You're truly next level beatdown. And we're changing the game here. As Dignitas, right now, with Soul on their side, are looking to rout off IMT AOE members once again. Shoji forced to use the Realm Warp, but Dignitas
doesn't
are
matter.
here to play, and IMT AOE have nowhere else to run. The jungler and the mid laner get routed off, and that's Baron.
And that's just like that, Mark. Dignitas, one spell swoop, get the Baron buff on top of their Soul, and this is kind of similar to what we saw in Game 1. They find these small leads, and then they start to blow the game wide open. This Baron buff is going to let them do the latter, because now, not only are we reaching those crucial item spikes, not only was Meech not able to steal the Baron, but now Dignitas Academy have the power to take down even more structures and put an end to this series.
Yeah, credits to IMT AOE. Yes, they lost out on the ability to contest for Baron, but Anime Girl and Meech and Trevor stuck to the Sigma grind of taking down some turret pressure in the bottom lane. They weren't able to take out the tier 2 turret quite yet, but put some decent damage, respectable in their own right. And it is enough that if IMT AOE ever find themselves in a team wipe situation where they ace Dignitas, and it's late enough into the game, you can just barrel down mid lane. You can barrel down bottom lane if the wave is there and look for a game-ending push.
We're getting close to the point where that's what Immortals AOE are looking for. Saving grace. Meech is playing Jinx, is almost at the 3-item mark with that what's looking like the Lord Dominic's regards. And once that comes through, Meech is going to be a very, very big boy. Meech is going to be appropriately fed.
Dexu is not going to let that happen easily. He's got the Frozen Heart, so he is super damn tanky. He is just forcing the opposition back.
Wait,
However,
XC's
he's getting
dead.
stunned up and he's getting held up. Superman
Wait, resets,
clips
resets.
him, and now JJ, he's been detached.
Wait a minute.
He got CC'd while he was detached away from spawn, so it sets up for another rocket reset from Meech. That's 2 members gone, and IMT AOE, they're not going down without a fight yet. Dark Wings and Spawn are going to get split up here. Anime Girl has teleported to cut off the last member of Dignitas. Eclipse is on the other side of the map, so he's not helping. Can Spawn get out? Can he make the great escape? But great prediction from Anime Girl, knowing that Spawn was likely in the bush. The tactical sweep prevents the recall, and IMT AOE are still in this game.
Mark, Mark, that's 2 kills and a shutdown kill to the big carry of Immortals AOE. That is a much needed injection of gold into this Jinx's pocket. And exactly as you say, IMA's way back into this game. There's so much gold Meech has right now. Will surely finish that 3rd item and start working towards his 4th. Anime girl, this is dangerous. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, my bad.
And he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I didn't want this, but we're back in the replay, baby.
And this was great play from Meech, throwing out those chompers just to make sure that this engage onto Trevor was not without consequences. And this is Jinx, man. Once you start resetting, once you have to start throwing rockets at the Yuumi, you already know you're going to be able to threaten more members of the rest of the team. And it took a little while, but it was a lot of gold that went over. That's the big thing here. And it's now put Immortals AOE in a position where they can really start to contest for the Elder Dragon in a minute's time. And look at the inventory when we get back to live, Mark. You're seeing, look at Meech. He's got the red pot coming through for all that extra damage. You're seeing stopwatches come through. This is the final stand for Immortals AOE. If they want to make this game 3 happen, they got to play for Meech.
Elder Dragon will also be the key for IMT AOE. If Meech can survive long enough, if Winston can pull out a steal, even where Dignitas have control of the jungle quadrant and an entrance into the Dragon Pit, all bets are off at that point. Yes, Dignitas have the soul, but an Elder Dragon will still kill you very quickly if you get put very low in your HP. Now, Meech can just be the one that sends you back to the fountain with the power of the execute on his side. And Dignitas Academy just prepping for this wave. 13 seconds before the Elder Dragon spawns. Dark Wings.
Oh, he's dead! He's gone!
Gets blown up! Lost chapter, only roots out 2. Eclipse coming in for the teleport, though. Finds one onto Trevor, and the rest of Dignitas are going to fully commit and believe that Eclipse will lead them to victory. The spawn, the pillar from Winston is going to keep them at bay. And remember, Dignitas don't have a jungler anymore. So Immortals AOE, they have to just burn down this dragon and use Winston's smite to secure it. But Dignitas, we're not going to let that happen. Charm onto Anime Girl. He gets a lot of HP back thanks to Divine Thunder and the Death Stance. Eclipse looking still be on the front line thanks to JJ is going to allow him to be a powerful force to be reckoned with. And now IMT AOE, they have to be careful about how they proceed with this dragon. Yes, they have the smite, but they still are the ones that could be under fire, under threat from Eclipse and the remaining members. Darkwing's getting a TP in so he can be full HP. Super low on health.
Wait, was that a smite? Was that a smite?
No! Darkwings will secure the Elder Dragon! And IMT AOE, despite having the jungler advantage, do not get a chance to take the Elder buff for their own right. It is Dignitas Academy that will run down any stragglers left. Meech, Shochi, Winston, all gone. Anime Girl will fall as well to the Eclipse needlework, and Dignitas Academy will close out this series.
And it was looking so close, Mark. It was looking so good as Immortals AOE started to bring it back, but Academy holds strong as Dignitas say no, and as they knock down the base of IMA.
Just like that, Dignitas Academy, you gotta give props to IMT AOE for putting them in a bit of a bind in the last couple of minutes there. But as you said, Dignitas Academy holds strong. And this is what we are getting a chance to witness unfold in Proving Grounds, where so many of these players, especially exemplified in Dignitas Academy, were once players in the amateur scene 1-2 years ago. When you look at Spawn, Darkwings, XU, and Eclipse, and just the top, the 3 players in the top side of the map, 2021. XU himself had gone up against Winston multiple times throughout the summer season when Cloud9 Academy or Cloud9 Amateur were contending for top of the amateur teams against Wildcard, and so many times XU getting close to beating Winston in a full-on series, never being able to on the Cloud9 Amateur squad against Wildcard. Winston was always the one that prevailed over him. So even though different teams, it's a little bit of a callback to now what is a narrative victory for XU.
And I think it's just even more exemplified, Mark, by the way that early game went. I think they did a really good job on the side of Immortals AOE in the early minutes of the game to punish the fact that, okay, we have a pushing mid, we have pushing we have a very strong early game jungle. Like, let's really harass XU here. And he fell behind noticeably. And in a lot of situations, that can be game ending. But XU recovered, Dignitas recovered, and they got that insane narrative victory you just highlighted.
Dignitas Academy are going to be able to move on in the bracket. And yes, even though that we had expectations that Dignitas Academy would be the favored team to go in, the challenges that IMT AOE put up against them, and it was awesome to see come out from the amateur squad, and just even more awesome that Dignitas Academy were forced to be in a position to say, okay, well, this is how we step up to the plate. This is how we step up to the challenge that is put at hand. And they delivered. Darkwing's coming in clutch along with that teleport, able to save the game, take out Winston, secure the Elder, wipe out the rest of the team. And then for us, that means the series is over, and we're going to be going to a quick break. When we come back, though, Mazel is going to be on deck with our interview once again, and this time with Dignitas Academy.
Welcome on back to the Verizon post-game interview. I am joined by Spawn from Dignitas Academy, the Quiet Menace, the diamond in the rough. Spawn, we're on the LCS channel today. I got to get a little check-in from you, man. How has your journey been this Academy split? It's been a long one.
I think this Academy split, it's been a lot of fun. You know, I enjoy playing with my teammates, and I feel like we grew a lot together. You know, we had some hiccups, but we're starting to turn it around. Our practice has been a lot better recently, you know, and we're going to show that on stage.
I love to hear it. You yourself has really shined these last couple of weeks, right? Especially the last couple games into Academy itself in the regular season. It just seemed like you were popping off in every single series in some way, shape, or form. Do you feel like you've kind of evolved in that way towards the end of the split? What do you think was different, or do you think anything is different?
Well, I think the meta helps a lot, right? Like the Aphelios, Jinx, Caitlyn is all like hyper carries, you know, give a lot of resources to your ADC. So I think that helps me a lot. And yeah, also I think my team plays around me, like helps me out when I need it. But I think we just play well as like a core.
Yeah, it seems like that adaptation is definitely there, especially like you were saying, playing around that bottom lane for you. Now, has the prep changed at all for the team going into Proving Grounds? We have a lot more amateur teams to keep a focus on, especially concerning the amateur teams. How has that prep been?
You know, it's a little different. So I think we have to search for, you know, what they play and everything. We still have to give respect to the amateur teams because they're not bad players, right? They're gonna be hungry for it. But for us, you know, our prep is play what we want to play, what we think is strong, and then, you know, just play our game. So
that's all that you really need in the end of things, right? If you feel confident in what you're playing. It seems to me, at least from an outside perspective, right, that Academy just seems to have a certain level of knowledge at every part of the game that they always know, like, at least basically what to do. Whereas with amateur, it seems like the snowball is definitely in their favor. But once you get to those hard macro decisions, it does seem to peter out a little bit. Do you have any thoughts on the way that Academy has approached PG so far comparatively to amateur?
I think some of the amateur teams seem to overchase, you know, get like overhype and try to force a little too much when they're already making a good play. So I think most of the Academy teams like try to go step by step. And like for us, our most important thing is staying calm. So in these situations, we try to stay calm and like just play together and, you know, play slow. So yeah, I think sometimes they get a little overeager, but yeah.
Okay, interesting. A little, I guess, personal aside. Do you guys have any more content coming out for PG? Do you guys have anything lined up? I know things are hard. I know you got to focus on the competition and whatnot, but man, I got to miss me some Dignitas Academy content.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there'll be some content coming out. So yeah.
All right, I'll definitely keep an eye on that Dignitas Twitter handle. Last little bit here, Spawn. Do you have any shout outs? Do you have anybody you want to talk about? Anybody you want to call out before we let you go?
For me, I think just shout out to my teammates and my coach. You know, we're in this together, and I think we're playing really well together, as a team. And yeah, also shout out to my family back home.
I love it, man. Gotta shout out the familial ties. Thank you so much, Spawn, for getting a chance to talk with me. And after that wonderful 2-0 victory, make sure you get some
Thank you.
rest, but get right back to that grind.
Will do.
Alrighty, that is it for our Verizon post-game interview. Let's go ahead and bring back on in Rafa and Beatdown Boulevard, help break down the day and round us out and get us ready for tomorrow. Guys, welcome back. What a day it was. Although I will say both days that I've been on PG so far, it's been four quick games. So I'm a little sad at that point, but Academy, man. Academy showing up big time.
Performances so far. I know we haven't gone into the two hyped up seeds from Amateur and 100 Thieves Next and No Freaking Team, but I mean, I think there's definitely some merit in both Winthrop University and IMT AOE, the 4th and 3rd seeds respectively from Amateur, but it also just goes to show that we have some very, very strong Academy teams. But the great thing is that, as we talked about it a lot before today, I'm going to reiterate it once freaking again. A lot of the players that are on the Academy teams this year came from Amateur last year, this time around.
Yep.
That's why you're seeing that level of growth, right? And we do have the series for tomorrow, as it's going to be a pretty hype series day there. CLG Academy taking on Evil Genius Prodigies, and then 100 Thieves Academy taking on No Freaking Team.
Yeah, one of the big matchups you were just highlighting, Mark. Two of the best actually amateur teams that we have available, and that's going to be the most exciting thing. I think as we've gone on and we've started to see more and more of what amateur has been about, or how good the amateur teams are, because we're getting to these higher seeded teams. I mean, today, even though of course it was still 2-0s, you do start to see at times amateur teams being able to punch back, being able to make plays and kind of show what they're made of. And I think that's going to continue to look better as we approach those higher seeded amateur teams.
Exactly that. I do want to go ahead and recap today, though, as we do have the bracket updated and ready to go, all nice and shiny, with the 2-0 victories for their respective teams today. If we do have that one coming up here shortly.
Let's take a look at this bracket.
I'm waiting. All right, there we go. Team Liquid Academy taking the 2-0 victory over Winthrop University, knocking them into the lower bracket. Same goes for Immortals AOE, as they take a 2-0 loss to Dignitas Academy.
You're looking at the remaining matchups in the main event. Beatdown already mentioned No Team versus 100 Thieves Academy, and then it's EG and CLG for tomorrow. But then on Wednesday, that's one of the big ones I'm looking forward to, is actually that 100 Thieves Next FlyQuest Academy matchup, baby. That is the one where this is going to be the best that Amateur has to offer. And a lot of those players on that team, not only, some players that have had some brief experiences either in Academy or the LCS, but then you have some, I'm going to just say it, General Sniper Man, probably the most hyped up amateur prospect we have coming in.
For sure.
The younger brother of Viper, still just turned 15 this year, I believe. So he is still too young to compete in Academy until he turns 16 next year.
I will say a special shout out. I know I messed it up earlier. But that CLG Academy, Evil Geniuses Academy matchup, that's some really spicy stuff for the Academy seed coming in. I know they're already facing each other. One of them is going to be knocked down into that lower bracket, but I still feel like that matchup, especially, seeing Rose Thorn go back up against the leveled up Tomio, is going to be so interesting to me. But it's going to be some fun stuff. Beatdown, do you have any thoughts on those upcoming matchups tomorrow? Anything else you want to add in onto the sniper hype?
It was you guessed it. It was definitely going to be about 100 Thieves Next, because that's the most exciting one for the reasons Rafa already highlighted, and for the fact that before going into the first PGCQ in January, we all knew, like, all right, it's time. Sniper is joining the party. What's it gonna look like? And then to find out that one, he's as good as advertised, and just like that, 100 Thieves Next were just smashing the competition in amateur. Cubby touts them as a top 4 team outside the LCS, and when they get to go up against FlyQuest Academy, we get to really put that statement to the test, because so far, with the exception of the Maryville series, that if you're an amateur watcher, you know what I mean, 100 Thieves seem like they've barely broken a sweat the last 3 months.
Yeah, that is the Maryville University is the only series they have ever dropped throughout the entire course of amateur in both the first circuit and the second circuit. And we have to also reiterate that at the beginning, when Golden Guardians Academy was also competing in the first circuit as well, just to get some extra practice and reps, 3-0 by 100 Thieves Next. And Golden Guardians Academy is a top 3 academy team as well. So the fact that 100 Thieves Next were able to do that to them, I mean, just imagine what kind of a run that 100 Thieves Next could make in the upper bracket.
Exactly that. Well, if you do want to tune in for those series, you'll have to be right back here, same place, same time tomorrow, and we'll see you there on Summoner's Rift.